Oh,
Maybe just record and just keep going though, because it just cut
okay.
off, and then we'll figure it out.
So we had this going live on the Facebook page and it cut it off. And I'm, I don't know, 10 minutes in. So I'm just going to pick up where I left off and we'll do these every week. So if you have questions, feel free to message me if you missed the first part of this. So the Frank list, we ended on the K or C. So that's your kids or colleagues. So obviously your kids, friends, parents, your T-ball coach's wife, and then people that you work with. So that's a great kind of like base list to start with. And if you feel like you've invited the 10 people right off the top of your head, you've kind of gone through your Frank list and you're still maybe only at like 20 or 25 people and you're like, oh my gosh, where am I going to think of more people? What I like to do is I pull up my Facebook for like 2 seconds and I will either go to my friends tab and kind of scroll down because those first chunk of people are the people that you interact with the most on Facebook. So kind of scroll down really fast and then look and kind of see what names you see and who pops into your head, or just going to my feed and kind of scrolling for, and I put a time limit on it, like 2 minutes, or I just kind of like scroll through my feed because you'll see those people like, oh yeah, I should totally invite Susie, or oh yeah, Justin's wife loves jewelry, like I'm totally gonna invite her when I do this. So taking 2 seconds to just kind of like scroll through and pop some ideas in your head, and you'll be surprised at who comes to mind when you do that. But not going, one of the things I don't recommend is going to your contacts and starting at A and going through your contacts and go A and then B and then C, because that's not going to be the most important people. Really try to think off the top of your head who you can come up with. And if you can't, then scroll through for a couple minutes and then those will spark some more people that you really want to invite, as opposed to just going through and scrolling through the alphabet. So getting that launch show booked is super important. And then once you get that launch show booked, really think about those people that you invited and branching out to, 4, 5, 6 of them. Hopefully they're all from different networks, and really trying to book your second and third and fourth shows with those people. Because like I said, they're attending your show. They see what it means to host. You can tell them that you're getting free and half off for hosting your own show. And then encouraging them to host as well, because they're probably going to have a wish list that's bigger than their pocketbook is. And they're probably going to have a lot more items that they're going to want to purchase that they're not going to be able to the night of the show. So that's a great time to bring up, like, I know this is my show, but a bulk of what, this business is doing this with other people and sharing this with other people that will host as well. So making sure you're kind of checking off those boxes of people that came to your show that you can then book with. And that is the best way to continue your business, is booking with people that come to your stylings. So let's say you have, 4 people that are all from 4 different social circles that come to your styling, and you book shows with each of those 4 people. That's 4 shows. That's 4 more stylings. And then at each of their 4 shows, if you pick, 4 people at each of their 4 shows and you book 4 shows with each of those 4 people, just think about how that will spread and how easy that will be to continue to book from there. So that's booking. One of the things that I really like to concentrate on is my mindset, and making sure that I am in a positive and uplifting mindset when I'm reaching out to people and talking to them about either coming to my styling, or I'm reaching out to them about booking their own stylings. So I would say the number one thing to remind yourself is, when you are reaching out to people about booking, you are doing them a favor. They are not doing you a favor. So really thinking about what you have to offer to people as a stylist. They're going to get free and half off. They're going to get to have a super fun girls' night that's going to be really inexpensive. It's going to be in their house. They're not going to have to put on uncomfortable shoes. They're not going to have to sit at a loud bar where they can't hear their girlfriends, and they're not going to have to pay $30 for dinner and a drink. So you have so much to offer people by offering them the opportunity to host a styling, and really reminding yourself that when you are reaching out to them. Because then a lot of times I think we forget that when we are asking people to do us a favor, it can come off, don't want to say desperate, but it can a little bit. And people don't really respond super well to that. But if you're reaching out to them saying, I would love to offer you the chance to host my first styling outside of my launch show. This is what you can get. This is what I'm going to bring. This is what it entails. You came to my show. You know exactly how much fun it is. I bet we have 10 girlfriends of yours that would love to come and shop for themselves. I mean, we're all thinking about fall wardrobe right now. and all the cute fall stuff that just came out. And so how they can like spice that up by getting free and half off. So really make sure you're coming from the mindset of you are doing them a favor by offering them the opportunity to host, not the other way around. So next thing I want to talk about is having a tracker. I can't even tell you how much my business changed when I finally started tracking who I was reaching out to, when I was reaching out to them, how I reached out to them, and how many times. It makes the biggest difference. I know Kara uses a 10-4 tracker that she prints out and she keeps it in her notebook. There it is. It's beautiful. So I love the 10-4 trackers. I think they're great, but I actually like using a notebook because single sheets of paper I lose in an instant. I actually had a single sheet of paper with like 10 amazing babysitters on them, and I have no idea where it is, and I'm about to lose my mind because I can't find it. But if I'd put it in my notebook, I would not have lost it. So I like to get whatever. This is just a simple, it says notes. It's from Target. It was like $8.99, and I fill it to the brim. And I like to use highlighters to show what their response was. And then I write how many times I reach out to them. So you can see all of these have different color highlights on them. Green is a no for now, but they definitely want to host in the future. Yellow is they're serious, they want to host now, we're booking a date. Orange is either like a no, don't reach out to them again, or it's just like a now is really not a good time and I don't want to talk about it. So I have a lot of orange on this page. That's okay. It happens. But I write their name. I write the date at the top. I write their name. I write how I reached out to them. So it's like text, phone call, text, email, text, Facebook message. And then I write how many times I reached out to them. So I started this one on July 16th, and then it has a text, and then it says the next date that I reached out to them was the 19th. And then all the way down, it's posted the dates that I reached out to them. And I like doing it this way because when I have the date at the top, it shows me this is the page. So on the 19th, I reached out to all these people. And then I get to follow up with all those people on the same day because I reached out to them all on the same day. So it's really important to follow up with your reach outs. So just like with how we want to invite 40 people to your styling to get 10 people to come, you kind of follow the same formula for reach outs to book a styling. So you usually need to reach out to about 10 people to book one styling. And that is very, very normal. So don't get discouraged if you reach out to, 10, 11, 9 people or whatever, and you're getting all no's. That is totally normal. So just like we tell our hostesses and just like we tell ourselves when we're hosting, you usually have to reach out to at least 10 to book one. You have to reach out to at least 40 to get 10 people to your show. So it's kind of that same formula. So again, don't be afraid if you're reaching out to 10, 20 people and you're like, oh my gosh, I've only booked one show. Totally normal. There have been times that I've reached out to 50, close to 100, and I've only booked 1 or 2 shows. I have a lot of maybes. I have a lot of reach out to me in the fall, or reach out to me next month, or this isn't a good time, we're doing a home remodel. That's totally normal. But here's what's great about using that 10-4 tracker, and actually what I love about using this kind of a notebook is when I use this kind of notebook, this is what I take with me when I go to do work. It's just one notebook, and it's usually about 6 months worth, maybe less, worth of reach outs. So if someone tells me, so if I'm reaching out to somebody right now and they're telling me, now's not a great time, get back to me in the fall, come September and October, I'm going to flip back to the people that I reached out to in the summer. I'm going to look and see who I reached out to in June and July that said, reach back out to me in the fall, because I'm going to have notes in here. I'm going to have people that says, like this person at the top, it says no for now, but reach back out in the fall. So I'm going to reach out to her in September and October again to host. So using something like a notebook or the 10-4 tracker that you can hang on to and you'll file away and check back to, that is a really great system to tracking your reach outs and knowing that you're actually doing the work. Because I will tell you, there have been plenty of times when I'm like, I'm not booking shows, I'm not sponsoring people. And then I go look at my notebook and I'm like, I reached out to 6 people. Like, of course I'm not sponsoring, and of course I'm not booking. I can't reach out to 6 people and expect to book a show. So that is a great way to kind of track your progress and see what you're doing. So the next thing I want to talk about is objections. This is probably one of the hardest parts of our business because you will get them a lot. You'll get them from people that you don't expect to get objections from, and we have to not take it personally, and we have to just kind of let it roll off our back and not stress about them, which is really hard. But it's not it's not a no to you. It's not because they don't like you. It's not because they think you're ugly. It's not because they think you're annoying. It's just a no to hosting. And most of the time it's just a no to hosting for now. So a lot of the objections I get are things like, I'm so busy. My house is really small. I don't know enough people. I don't have enough money. That kind of stuff. So one of the things that I like to do, and I have definitely found that it works for me, is using the feel, felt, found method when you're getting these objections. So when you get these objections like, my house is really small, you're going to feel them, felt them, and found them. So first thing you're going to say is, oh my gosh, girl, I totally know how you feel. My house is teeny tiny. Or I have so many hostesses that say the same thing and they feel like they have teeny tiny houses too. So you're going to feel them. Usually it's best if it comes from you, like, I totally know how you feel, because you don't want to make them feel alone in the objection that they're giving you. I totally know how you feel. My house is so small too. Like, our downstairs are so small too. Our kitchen is so tiny too. Totally know how you feel. Then you're going to felt them. Feel, felt, found. I gotta say it to myself. So you're going to tell them that you have felt the same way. Oh my gosh, I totally know how you feel. Then you're going to tell them that others have felt that way. Oh my gosh, girl, I totally know how you feel. Like, my kitchen is so small. And I'll be honest with you, I have so many hostesses that feel that same way too. I have so many friends that feel that same way too. So you feel her and others have felt her. So she is for sure not alone. That's like the most important part, is making sure that she knows she's not alone in her feelings. So I feel you. Others have felt you. What I have found is that stylings in smaller areas are way more successful than stylings in big fat mansions. And here is why. Because when you're doing a styling in somebody's small kitchen or their small living room, everyone is huddled together. Everyone is like kind of forced to be around the jewelry and be right next to each other. And honestly, I feel like sales are so much higher and people are so much more excited because we're just focused on the jewelry and we're not scattered all over, someone's downstairs dining room, kitchen, living area that's massive. So I feel you, others have felt you, and here's what I have found. So I don't have very many friends. I don't know. I don't think I could host. I don't have very many friends. Oh my gosh, girl, I totally know how you feel. I feel like I know the same 5 people and I do things with the same 5 people, and that's it. And I can't even tell you, I have so many hostesses that have felt that way too, that they feel like they don't know enough people to invite. Here's what I found. I have a great system of finding people that you actually know that we can invite to your styling. If I helped you find 40 people to invite, would you be interested? And that's kind of the key, is ending with that little sentence of, if I would you be interested? So like with the small house scenario, if I showed you, how your dining room can fit 4 trays and that is all that we need for your styling, would you be interested? Or like, I could show you a picture of a small display that I could do, or like I could show you a picture of a display that I did in like a 900 square foot house. Would you be interested then? If I helped you make a list of all the people that you're going to invite to your styling, would you still be interested? So using that feel, felt, found method is really great. I can't even tell you how many times that I've like feel, felt, found people multiple times over multiple objections, and then you just wear them down and they're finally like, okay, it sounds fun. And then when they have the styling and they have other girlfriends over and they get all their stuff for free and half off, they totally forgot that they had an objection of having the small house or not knowing enough people or their friends not having enough money or whatever the objection is. But I really love the feel, felt, found method, and I have found that it has worked really, really well with people. Because here's the thing. You get those hard no's. You will get those people that are like, please don't text me. I'm not interested in hosting. Or you'll get those people that are like, I so appreciate you reaching out to me, but I don't like hosting. And when you get those people, I am always killing with kindness. Like, I totally understand. Like, no problem. I would love to invite you to my next event can I put you on my list for the next event that I have to invite you? And most of the time they say yes. And they want to be invited. They just don't want to host. And I always circle back with those people. I have had people give me super hard no's where they're like, I do not like hosting. I'm not the person that's going to host stuff. And I'll circle back with them, maybe 6 months, a year later, because if they've changed their mind, they're not going to tell you that they've changed their mind. They're going to wait for you to ask them. So circling back with them and saying something like this, okay, Kara, I know the last time we talked about you hosting, you were not interested. You did not like hosting things. I just was thinking about you again, and I wanted to throw it out there to see if you've changed your mind. And I haven't had anybody take me up on my offer, but they have all been very appreciative. Like, oh, thanks so much for reaching out. I so appreciate it. But, I'm still just not interested. But again, if they have changed their mind, they're not going to come tell you that they changed their mind. So giving them the opportunity to invite them again, but acknowledging that they didn't want to host before and not sharing that you didn't forget. Like, I didn't forget that you don't like hosting, but I just wanted to throw this out there for you. So those are some objections that you're going to hear, and it's totally normal. And I think I said this in the beginning, like, my best friend is not my best customer, and that's okay. And it stung in the beginning when I was starting out my business. And it will sting. It will, it's always going to bother all of us when, the people that are closest to us aren't supporting our business. Because if I owned a restaurant, they would probably come to my restaurant. Or if I owned like a brick and mortar store, they would probably come in and shop. But sometimes our friends that maybe aren't in this industry or don't really get it, don't really know what it means, and don't really quite understand. And so this is when we kind of have to get that thick skin and tough skin to deal with that portion of this. So don't be afraid if your best friend or, your mother-in-law or your sister aren't necessarily your biggest customers. That's pretty normal. I think if you ask most stylists, they would probably say the same thing, like, oh yeah, my best customer is not my best friend. It's somebody that I met at a styling years ago, and I didn't know her before the styling. So that's objections. The last thing I'm going to chat about is sponsoring. So I know you all just signed up, and you feel like you don't know anything, and you feel like, why in the heck would I bring someone along to do this with me if I just started and I don't know anything? And I am here to tell you, sponsoring in your first 30 and 60 days is so much easier than sponsoring when you've been doing this for 5 years. Because I will tell you, ignorance is bliss. Sometimes I wish that I could go back in time and just wipe my brain clean of all the Stella and Dot stuff that I know. I know too much Stella and Dot. And sometimes when you know too much, you overcomplicate things. And I say too much and I give too many details when I'm talking to people about doing this with me. But when I first started, I didn't know enough to talk people's ears off about how great the comp plan was and how great the product credit is and blah, 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 blah. All I knew was that I was having fun, I was getting free stuff, and I was making a little bit of money, and I was making a ton of really cool friends. And so sharing just those 4 key things with people when I first started was almost easier to sponsor than sponsoring now, because I just know too many things. So don't be afraid. If you're loving this and you're having so much fun doing this and you're making money and you're getting free product and you're making new friends and getting out of the house and whatever your why is, if this is fulfilling that part of why you signed up, don't be afraid to share that with others, because you don't have to know everything to sponsor people. That is why you have your direct upline that sponsored you. That is why you have your directors on this team to help you. That is why we have these team pages. And if you take, even just 5 minutes to scroll through Mimi, my sponsor should have talked to you about Mimi. Just take 5 minutes to scroll through Mimi and look at some of the stylist training videos and tools that are in there. You will have everything that you would need to help your new stylist launch strong, just like you are. And I will say, sometimes, I would say more often than not, and I know for me personally, but I think for a lot of people, we learn so much better when we're teaching other people how to do this with us. So trying to teach someone else to do what you're doing it makes you learn it so much faster, if that makes sense. So I know for me personally, if somebody tells me how to do something, I'm probably not going to be very good at it. But if I have to figure it out myself, I'm going to be bomb at it. I'm going to be the best. I'm going to figure it out real fast, because you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to, if someone is asking you how to find something and you don't know how to find it, you're going to go find it yourself and then tell them how to do it. But then because you had to find it yourself, it's going to stick in your mind more than if, I showed you or your upline showed you. So, okay, I think that's it. I'm really sorry that this didn't work on Facebook Live. I think I started recording about 10 minutes in. So the first 10 minutes should be, the first 10 minutes should be on the Facebook page, on the Team Glambitious Facebook page, but I will post the rest of this recording, hopefully in the comments of that video. So that is it. If you have any questions about anything that we talked about, because I kind of breezed through a lot of this stuff, don't hesitate to reach out to me or your upline or your director that's closest to you. Again, I'm not Amelia Keeley. I'm Amy Hendricks. I am a director out of Eugene, Oregon. I've been doing this for about 5.5 years. So like I said, there's a whole lot of stuff that I wish I didn't know because it would make things so much easier. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will get this recording posted in the team page, hopefully tonight or tomorrow. So that's it. Have a good night, you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.